Welcome back to AgriTalk Online from Commodity Classic in Tampa, Florida. We're joined now by a couple of folks from Rabo AgriFinance. We're going to talk with Shawn Smeins, who is Managing Director of the North Central region for Rabo AgriFinance. And we're going to talk with Tad Mozena, Vice President of Insurance Marketing, a voice from our past here. We haven't talked to Tad in a while. But first I'll start with Shawn. And Shawn, you and I have been talking at Farm Machinery Show here at Commodity Classic about the different products and services that Rabo AgriFinance has for grain producers, and kind of give us an idea. How do you work with farmers across the country?
Well, what we try to do, Mike, is we get a local presence. We are located regionally across the Corn Belt. We have about 7-8 offices in Indianapolis, Shelbyville, Illinois, Mankato, Minnesota, Marshall, Minnesota, those type of areas, where we get out to the local presence, see what they need from a financial product or risk management side, and then get at the kitchen table, discuss those items with them.
We're at a time with high commodity prices, high land values, volatile markets, some questions about, what's going to happen. What if we have a crop problem this year? I mean, what's going on in other parts of the world? There's so much going on. It's an exciting time, but it can be a very scary time as well when you think about how do I market, when do I market, what do I sell at? How can you help a farmer in those situations?
Well, the most part what we can help, Mike, is be able to provide some global information. With our Food and Ag Research Group, where we're across all 13 different countries, 80 different analysts on the ground, is providing information. That's what people need today, is just unbiased information on what's happening in the marketplace. Then when we have that information into their unique situation, we can give them a solution to what they're looking for.
So you're helping them. This is what they're looking for. They want to lessen their risk and increase their profit potential.
Well, that's exactly right. And you'll be talking to Tad in a little bit, but we look at the crop insurance side from risk management of that. And then on the other side of it, with hedging other products, we have a commodity swap program where we can take that margin risk away. So it takes some of the volatility that they're seeing on a day-to-day basis out of their operation.
Now, you're also using the social media to reach out to farmers.
Yeah, we are. We've really expanded on that, what we'll call the viral network, getting that viral information out there. We're at where we're at on Twitter is at Rabo Ag, and so we're getting that information instantaneously out there, which is helping people make different decisions on a daily basis.
So they can use that to ask questions?
They can use that to ask questions, give feedback, additional information, and it allows us to get information that maybe we're seeing before other reports come out in some of these other areas that we're providing out on that feed.
Let me ask you, is this a good time for producers to be making capital investment?
I think it's a good time to be evaluating whether they should. I think it's each individual situation. Interest rates are very low, so it's a good time to make some, but you got to make sure you have that liquidity in the bank, I'll call it, working capital there, because there's going to be some volatility in this market. That's what we see over the next 24, 36 months, a lot more volatility, so liquidity is going to be very important.
What have you seen? Have farmers been paying down debt, or have they been making some of those investments we just talked about with these high prices?
I think right now we're seeing a combination of both, Mike, to be honest with you. We see some guys are just very debt sensitive. They want to pay down as fast as they can. But we are starting to see some capital investments, and especially on the equipment side and on the grain beds. Especially in the Midwest, that storage is becoming very key as we're getting our production levels up a lot higher. And having lived through 2009, grain storage is the #1 capital purchase.
So as a grain producer, you hope these times continue, but at the same time you prepare for a drop in the market, which historically we see.
Yeah, we're going to see a drop. We're naturally going to see something. It's not going to stay at this level. Now, how far it drops, nobody knows. But it's going to drop, and farmers need to be prepared for that volatility. And actually, it's a free enterprise system. It's going to take out it needs to take out some of the inefficiencies. So we're going to see those drops, but liquidity is going to be #1 for everybody.
Well, that kind of leads us into the insurance side of things for some protection in that volatility. And Tad Mozena is with us, he's Vice President of Insurance Marketing with Rabo AgriFinance. Good to see you again. It seems to me in these times, insurance becomes even more important than ever.
Oh, you're exactly right. Price elections came out this week with 601 for corn, 1349 for beans. Yeah, definitely looking at that protection. You could be setting up a lot like 2008, where a producer could get that revenue protection in place, produce a good crop, prices go down, could still protect himself on that side from the revenue.
Yeah, we may not go back to $2 corn levels again, and kind of hope, well, unless you're a livestock producer, you hope we don't. But But there is going to be that volatility, isn't there?
Yes, absolutely. And as Shawn alluded to, again, there's a number of risk protection products that we have, insurance, swaps, some other things that we can do that we like to work alongside from the loan and the financial services that we offer that Rabo AgriFinance. We've got our agents both in the field, followed up by servicing agents in the office to make sure on an individual basis our clients have the right protection that they need.
It's hard for me to keep straight the changes in crop insurance. The program has changed. I know there have been a lot of attempts at improving it. We've seen some big changes here in the last few years. What are some things producers need to know as we go into this year?
You're right. You're exactly right. And that's really the key thing is it does change every year, but we have seen some substantial changes this year. In particular, as it relates to producers, is the new combo policy for 2011, which essentially eliminates the two previous revenue protection programs in the past, wraps it into one, which from a producer standpoint provides a little bit more simplification into the process. But there are so many other things that change on a regular basis. It's good that you do work with a very knowledgeable and crop-specific agent that can help keep you up to date on all that type of thing.
That's a big part of your management decision. What level of crop insurance do I need?
You're exactly right. And again, you get back to looking at an individual situation, what they've got, what you want to look at for risk tolerance and everything else like that, what's been done from a marketing standpoint, and really look at that individual situation and figure out what coverage level fits best, all the way down to what unit structure should be selected.
And I guess right down to you sit down with a producer and say, okay, what do you want this to do for you? What is it you're after?
Exactly, and taking all factors into consideration. It isn't just a program where it's a one size fits all for everybody. That's why there are different levels. That's why there is different unit structure. And what makes sense for one obviously doesn't make sense for all.
What would the advantage be for a producer to work with you at Rabo AgriFinance for their crop insurance?
Sure, you're right. It's a great question. Really one of the things that we do, which also ties into the loan side as well, is our specialization and dedication exclusively to agriculture. Our agents are exclusively dedicated to the crop insurance and the crop insurance program, which translates then into a deep understanding and knowledge of those programs to translate to our clients as well. Each of our clients, we've got field agents backed up by their own individual servicing agent, which then does quality control checks, audit points, and everything to make sure our insureds are covered.
I've had people say during the crop insurance debates, people have said, well, why can't we just go into the FSA office and sign a form and get crop insurance? Couldn't it be handled that way? And what I've heard from a lot of people is, hey, they're not qualified or trained to really provide you with all the information you need of what your options are and what's best for you. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. They're asked to do an awful lot already, and they're already dealing with an awful lot. There, as you indicated earlier, lots of changes on an annual basis, sometimes during the year. It's very difficult to keep up unless you're actually and specifically working on just crop insurance.
You find more interest in crop insurance with high commodity prices or with low commodity prices?
Actually, I would say this year has been a lot of interest. Obviously, with the high prices, everybody wants to get protected and make sure that they're covered that way.
Insurance, whether it's for crops or anything else, one of those things you hope you never need, but you know that you may need it and you don't want to be caught without.
That's exactly right. I say the same thing about my auto insurance every year. I hate paying that premium, but the one time I need it, boy, I'm sure glad I have it in place.
What about the cost of crop insurance? That's going to be a key factor for farmers to look at.
You bet. They're probably starting right now to hear from their agents since price selections just came out, and there's probably a little bit of sticker shock this year in particular. You're probably seeing premiums in excess of 50% higher than you saw last year. So that is one thing that is going to have to be looked at. And again, there are some things that you can look at, again, from whether it's enterprise units fit your operation. There may be some more subsidy available for that makes them a little more cost effective. But you really have to be careful in what you're looking at for your operation.
So how do they get in touch with Rabo AgriFinance to talk about crop insurance?
As easy as going at raboag.com or calling our 800 number at 395-8505. It's 1-800.
Right. You knew that. I'm very impressed.
That was tough. I barely got that one out.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And now a little money to help us sign Albert Pujols in St. Louis. We'd like that.
Oh, we would certainly love to do that. We'd love to see him back.
All right, that is Tad Mozena along with Shawn Smeins with Rabo AgriFinance. And again, they are looking at entering in a long-term business partnership and relationship with you with all the different options and services. All right, we'll take a break. Much more to come. Stay with us here at Commodity Classic in Tampa, Florida. This is AgriTalk Online.